Potential only means you haven't done anything yet. This was one of the first things that I thought of the other day when the big news about Multiversus dropped. And originally I was going to put out a video like the same day about Multiversus and its, well, wasted potential, if you will. But I kind of held off on it because I wanted to let everything kind of sink in, and I'm a little glad I waited because holy crap, the roller coaster that we've gone on and gone through over the past couple days about Multiversus has been absolutely crazy. Still can't even wrap my mind around most things because there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of misinformation out there, but I still think there's some truths out there as well. So if you haven't heard, well, let's just start. Obviously, the big news, I'm sure everyone's heard by now, but Multiversus Season 5 will serve as the final update for Multiversus, and the game will be ending, or I guess shutting down online services May 30th of, well, this year. So that means the game will have lasted just barely over 1 year since it relaunched. And again, going back to that quote at the beginning of the video, first thing that I thought of was the potential that this game had. The roster, the stages, the character interactions, the variants. Like, there is so much. Could you imagine if we could have got like a story mode out of this? Like, Multiversus truly had all the potential in the world, but again, potential just means you haven't done nothing yet. And well, Multiversus did maybe a little something, but you know, it kind of always, you know, I hate to say this, but it does kind of feel like it kept getting in its way. It would do something good, and then like two things bad would go wrong, and it's like they could never really get on track. So the actual topic of today's video is, well, the developing story over the past couple days. So since Multiversus' announcement that it will be shutting down after Season 5, well, there's a whole lot of information and misinformation out there. I think it all kind of started with this little thread popped up on Reddit a couple days ago, and it was titled, "The development of Multiversus was problematic due to player-first games mismanagement." Now, I'm not going to go over this entire thread because it's a giant wall of text. But the one thing that caught me off guard immediately was it was like in the opening couple sentences. It even says, "This isn't my own information. I found it from another user." Right there, I was like, all right, yeah, okay, sure. I could trust somebody on Reddit to, you know, not make up anything and just post whatever they find. Like, maybe there's some truths in there, but maybe there's some false information. I don't know. I don't have the whole story, but this popped up, and it just kind of felt like, I don't know, Multiversus was already down for the count. It's done for, you know. It's going to be done for in a couple months, and this felt like more people just trying to get in some licks on the game, you know, kick them while they're down, so to speak, right? So all this started building up, and then there was, I think even in that Reddit post, or maybe it was a separate one, there was a lot said about Tony Wynn, the game director, and how he had like a massive ego and he did not take any advice, or he didn't listen to anybody, allegedly. And you know, that was kind of the downfall, and some people are looking at the character selections and going, what is going on? So for example, apparently there is a list going around of characters, and it should be on screen so you guys can see it if you haven't, but this alleged list was of characters that were done and ready for the game. And, you know, you could see Freddy Krueger, Gumball, Wicked Witch, Aquaman, Dexter, Daffy, Ruby, Rose, Mad Max, Gandalf. I mean, I don't need to read the entire thing. You can see, but then in parentheses, you can see some of the characters have done next to their name, which allegedly means they were done and ready to be put in the game as playable characters. They could have, like, launched right now. But if I was getting this information correct here, this list right here turned out to be fake, apparently, because I guess whoever created this list, and again, I think I have the correct list here, maybe I don't. If I don't, that's on me, but there's a lot of moving parts here. But apparently, the person that put together this list said that Lysol, the, you know, most prevalent Multiversus data miner out there, they said that they got the information from Lysol, and Lysol, as you can see the tweet up top there, Lysol said they never did anything like this. Not once did they ever create a list like this or share any information like this. So all of that misinformation kind of got scrapped right there. It's like, all right, so not all of this information that's floating around is true. And one of the things about characters again was Tony basically said, nope, I have basically the only decision. You guys can't talk me out of it one way or another. If I want it, it's going to happen, and I'm going to make the team do it. Allegedly, that was the one of the talking points about Tony, and it's just really strange. And going back to Lysol here for just a second, Lysol again kind of tweeted this out the other day. A lot of negative information surrounding Tony has been released recently, but Lysol says it's just not true. I think they were alluding to whatever the tweet was. They got a little link there at the end of the first tweet up top there, but when you go to click that link, you then get the, this page doesn't exist. Whoever Gems and Mayhem are over on Twitter, I guess they deleted whatever Lysol was referencing here. So, I mean, that just kind of goes to show more misinformation was being spread. It was just more people jumping on, well, I guess the dirt pile in this case, just kind of picking up their own shovel and continuing to bury Multiverse. Look, if you like the game, great. If you don't, I don't know, there's a lot of people that didn't like it for one reason or another. That's fine. Not everybody's going to enjoy every single game, but it was just so weird, so strange to just watch all of this unfold. Like, as somebody who's been around myself, and I'm sure there's several of you, I recognize a lot of your names from even before Multiverses got officially announced. We've been here since before day one, and to see everything happen like this, to see all the accusations against Tony get thrown out there, and just kind of like, what's happening? Was Tony like who we thought he was? I mean, it led to Tony putting out a giant Twitter post the other day. I'll have it up on screen. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he basically kind of finally put out his own little statement on everything. He kind of mentions some characters. For example, I think he does mention that, where is it? I think the bottom paragraph there, he does talk about Aquaman and Lola Bunny and how he thinks that they're really cool and he hopes that we check them out. And that kind of led into some people going back to the one part in the Reddit post about Tony deciding characters just by himself. It was like, okay, maybe Tony's the one that said, yes, Aquaman and Lola Bunny, that's it. You can't change my mind. So there's a little, I don't know how to feel about that, because, well, Aquaman might be a little popular. I don't think he was ever anybody's, well, okay, he might be some people, but he wasn't like the consensus or majority's pick to be the next DC character. If anything, we all would have said, hey, let's take a break from DC characters for a couple seasons, right? And then Lola Bunny, we've mentioned this many times. If we got another Looney Tunes rep, it should have been Daffy Duck first. Should have been Daffy first, but we can continue on. People were talking, there was one point during a lot of the misinformation out there, I think somebody mentioned that Banana Guard replaced Poison Ivy at one point, and I guess that ended up being false, because Tony told us way back when Multiversus first relaunched last year, he even mentioned that Banana Guard was a passion project of the developers, and then he kind of goes into a little bit more details here, where he says up at the top paragraph there, for instance, Banana Guard came about because the team was enthusiastic about making it and on their own produced it over the weekend as a fun, quick-to-make character. Banana Guard never took a roster spot from anybody else, and that was more misinformation that was being spread, and I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Apparently the first, I'm kind of all over the place, I'm just kind of rambling, I'm still wrapping my head around all this, but I think that the original Reddit post that was referenced was supposedly from like an old employee that no longer works with Player First Games, so it could have been them just venting their frustration. Again, I don't know the details, I didn't work at PFG, I don't know any of that stuff, but maybe it was them venting frustration, or maybe it was, maybe there's some truth in there, and then maybe, I don't know. Who knows? The whole situation is absolutely crazy, but Tony ended up having to make a statement about everything, and then even Ajax, one of the community managers for Multiversus, had to chime in. He said that he was legitimately losing sleep over the past couple days watching all these things that happened to Tony online, and then Ajax put out this statement basically sticking up for Tony, saying, hey, everything you hearing and reading on the internet about Tony, that's not true. So I don't mean to, I'm not here to like defend Multiverses, but I don't know. I don't feel like Ajax is the kind of guy that would just sit there and lie to defend somebody he works for. I don't feel like if he felt differently, I don't think he would have put this post out. I think maybe in time, if he felt differently, I think it would have come out eventually. But for him to kind of put this out, I think does speak volumes. But I don't know. The whole situation again was just, oh, game shutting down, and now apparently the entire world just crumbled. It just imploded, right? Everything was just terrible. I do feel a lot of the misinformation was just people dogpiling. I've already mentioned that a couple times, but I don't know. This whole thing is just really strange. And this video, I mentioned it earlier. I was gonna make an entire video just based off of the missed potential or the untapped potential of the game, and how they just kept getting in their own way. They would do some good things, and then other bad things. I don't know, character balancing wasn't getting balanced the way that we wanted. Hitboxes were a little weird and wonky all the time. Same characters kept seeming to be always the best characters season after season. It's like, do something about it. And character road or fighter road was a great idea on paper, but then implemented didn't really seem like it was thought all the way through or tested all the way through. It just, I don't know. Like we got the characters themselves. We got some good ones. Joker during the relaunch, I mean, he was like the worst kept secret, but Joker finally got on the roster. We got legitimate surprises with Jason Voorhees and Agent Smith. That was great to experience. Surprise character announcements, awesome. And then just going forward into the future seasons, we did get highly requested characters: Samurai Jack, Powerpuff Girls, Raven. And then we got some questionable ones. Nubia was in there. Like, nobody's asking for her. How did she get in here? So, I don't know. It's... I just wish this game, I don't know, could have... I really wanted it to succeed, but apparently it failed in the end, sadly. So, I don't know. I'm still a little lost for words on the whole thing, but... I don't know. It's still kind of sinking in, but I'm still trying to like take everything in, because even as I record this video, there's still people out there saying some new stuff, and it's like I don't know what to believe anymore. So that's just kind of the situation right now. Multiversus imploded, and everyone's jumping on it, but it was a little funny, or not funny, but it was really cool. There's a hashtag going around over on Twitter, Save Multiverses. So. I don't know. I don't think anything will come of it, but it's really great. It's really awesome to see, people fighting for something that they love and something that they think can truly survive and, be a mainstay. But sadly, that I don't think it's going to happen because, well, Season 5 is it.